right, welcome back to the Cricket Today podcast on Monday, December 18. I'm your host, Liam McAllion, also known as the Stats Guy. I'm here with Marcus Bazzano, pretty pumped after a massive weekend of cricket. How you going, Marcus?
I'm going very good, Liam. How are you?
Yeah, very good, very good. I've got my polo on today. I don't know if you guys can see that, but another Nuffy level. I might have to wear the polo and the hat next time, maybe if we win the second test. And we've also got social guy Leo Mullaly also here. How you going, Leo?
Good, thanks, Stats Guy. I'm feeling pretty good after the Aussies absolutely dominated Pakistan.
Yeah, I think we all predicted that, but it was probably by a little bit more than I thought in the end. It was the first sort of innings looked pretty close, and then we absolutely towed them up, as we'll get into talking about in a second. As we mentioned on every podcast, we're all pumped that the summer of cricket is here. We've had a huge first test done and dusted, and now we've got the Big Bash round 2 coming up, which we're also really excited for. So today's podcast, we're going to wrap up a huge performance by Australia against Pakistan in the first test at Optus Stadium, including the stats, scores, best performers, some funny moments, and then some yeah-nahs that we've been sent through. We're very happy that a few people have sent through some yeah-nahs, so anyone that wants to send us a message or anything you want to add into the show, please let us know. Then we're going to finish off with my favourite part, a huge SuperCoach segment ahead of round 2 for a massive round 2 of the Big Bash SuperCoach. So let's get into it, lads. Test match wrap-up. The first test at Optus Stadium. What do we think? Australia versus Pakistan. Maybe just go through the scores and what happened first, please, Leo.
Yeah, so the Aussies batted first. I think ended up making 487, I want to say, with the bat. Pakistan then batted. They were pretty resolved, I thought. Pretty slow strike rate, but sort of built a decent sort of, a few decent starts, I would say. But didn't really get anywhere near making Australia's total. The Aussie bowlers they performed well, really well-rounded effort. And then Aussies batted again and declared, and Pakistan absolutely crumbled. Australia win by 360 runs. What caught your eye, boys?
We talked about this on our Friday podcast, but Warner making 164. Very stiff, probably not to get player of the match, but then Mitch Marsh, what did he have? 153 runs for the test match. What was it, 60 odd and 90 odd? Was awesome, and then took a couple of wickets with the ball. I was a bit disappointed. I feel like his sort of injuries and things like that is not being able to bowl too many overs, because he was probably one of our better bowlers at just threatening the stumps and threatening to get wickets, but he just couldn't bowl too many overs. What did you say, Marcus? Who stood out for you?
Yeah, well, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Stats Guy. I think a lot of the difference in the game was the bowling. A shout out for Jamal from Pakistan, who took 6 for on debut in the first innings.
Good call.
But I think the fact that we have Marsh to come in, or even when he's not in, we got Cam Green or Travis Head can even come in with a couple of overs, and they're all dangerous. Whereas I think the Pakistan bowlers don't really have those part timers that can take crucial wickets. Like Mitch Marsh got Babar Azam out in the first innings. Head got a couple of wickets throughout the Test series as well. But I feel like we were just a little bit more composed and built on that first innings score after the pitch actually played quite a few tricks for both teams in the second innings.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. It wasn't. First innings was really flat, and then it sort of even up a bit between bat and ball, which was, I thought, it made it a little bit more exciting. But then definitely swayed towards our favour, obviously winning by 360 runs. But my favourite part of the test so far was Gaz getting his 500th. It was a bit sad how it went to review. I just wanted him bowl through the gate or something like that. I don't know what you guys saw of that, but Leo. He's got his 500th. I was really happy with that. Check out on the socials. I chucked up Nathan Lyon on my Christmas tree, replaced the Angel. So he's got to sit up there. 500, which is an awesome effort. What'd you say about that, Leo?
Yeah, he's the GOAT, isn't he? I completely agree. I wish it was a bowl through the gate.
I know.
Particularly to Babar Azam would have been the perfect scenario. But, Fahim Ashraf's he's an all right all-rounder, so I think we'll take that. But yeah, the LBW was a bit stiff.
Yeah, probably was a little bit. And then the wickets straight after.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping that the quicks got all the wickets, and then he would take his 500th on Boxing Day in front of 80,000 plus. I was kind of hoping for that, but he got it in the end. So.
Yeah, I'm going day 2. I was sitting with my brother, and he's trying to figure out if there's any way that it can somehow extend that to day 2. And I was like, don't be barracking for that. At least let him get his 500th and shit. But yeah, it was still awesome, and awesome that he's got his 500th. Another thing I just wrote down quickly was Marnus needs to calm down on his appeals. I think we've said this for about the last 5 years, but I swear he wants to review everything. He wants to appeal for everything. Are you a big appealer, Marcus, or how would you go if there was a bit of a review system in local cricket?
If there was a review system in local cricket, I love it. Particularly as a bowler, I review everything that I appeal for. No, I love a good appeal, but it's just the character of Marnus, isn't it? You just got to expect it. He's always fielding in close. He's always in the ears of the batsman, the umpire. It does get a bit annoying, but if you don't appeal, there's no way the umpire can get it out, really. So, very true. But I'll throw a question here, lads. Do you think Marnus's test position could be on the ropes, considering he struggled to make a score for quite a while? Could he get dropped?
Oh, you go first, Leo.
That could be a nah, Marcus.
I know it could be. Yeah,
I'm gonna say no at this stage. I still think he's the right man for the job. He loves batting, and I think it's just at this stage, it's just a sort of a down sort of time for him in form. So I think he'll bounce back. Hopefully, in the next couple of tests, I think we'll see the best of Marnus again. But maybe one to watch.
Yeah, I agree with Leo. Just quick on that. He's still averaging, I think it's 33 of his last 14 tests. Before that, he was averaging 60 something. So definitely a massive drop off. But I'm still going to back him. He's still been an awesome player. But I feel like you're swinging towards the other way, Marcus, because you were having Head over him and a few others over him. So yeah. A
little bit, yeah. Well, he's only had the struggling thing is he's always starting an innings, but he's struggling to really go on with it now. I think he's only had 3 half centuries and a century in 14 test matches. Yeah, okay. Which, still better than one. Maybe a couple big scores maybe skewed that average, but this summer is going to be a big summer for him, I think. Yeah. In terms of his position in the team and moving forward.
Yep. Fair enough. It'll be interesting to see how he goes over the next couple of tests. All right, Leo, we've got some of your famous nars, but we've got some sent in for us. Could you read them through for us, please?
Yeah, so this one is from Brad McEgan via Messenger. So get around us on the socials. He asked us, have Cricket Australia missed a trick by not having a BBL game on the last day of the test? So basically tonight. Yeah, nah, gentlemen.
You go first, Marcus.
I think they have. If you have a look at it now, particularly in Australia, not a lot of test matches, particularly in Perth, where you're very rarely going to get rained out or delayed. Very rarely tests go the full 5 days now. So on a Monday night in particular, I think it would be worth having a big bash game, tonight. But it's a tough one because really it's up in the unknown how long a test match will go for. But I think it's more likely that the test match will go for 4 days rather than 5, particularly when we're playing a team like Pakistan, who, no offense to Pakistan, but you'd expect us to win and win comfortably.
Yep. I'm going to go big nah on that one. I would have loved to have a Big Bash game tonight because I love watching the Big Bash. But I don't think you can schedule it when the tests are sometimes going until 8:45 Australian Eastern Time. I feel like that unless it's a game in Perth where they already are, you're not going to get a game on at 9:30 in most other states. So I'm going to say no on that one from Brad McEgan. I don't mind the idea that we want to get a Big Bash game for all the other tests, but this one's a bit harder when they start at 1:20 in a lot of states compared to all the other ones when it's 10:30. If it was 10:30, you could have a game on every night, which they're going to do for a lot of the other tests where you can start it at 7:30. But I don't know. I'm going to say no on this one. I think you can't risk that. I know it was against Pakistan, but you can't assume that we're just going to absolutely roll them like we did. I reckon there might be one test match in this series that's going to be close. Could have been that one. So yeah, it's a bit of a tough one there. So thanks, McKeegan, for that one. Let's go for the other one, Leo. Another ENR, please.
This one's come in from our co-worker, Alex. So he's asked us, should Test cricket go back to the whacker? Yeah, nah.
Ooh, that's a tough one. You go, Marcus. What do you
nah at the moment. because I think that they're still doing redevelopments, aren't they? There, I think they knocked down a fair chunk of the stands. So I think they're putting a pool, aren't they, in between stands, like a
Oh, really?
50-meter pool, sort of like how they have at the Gabba. You can jump in the pool there, but like they're getting a pool put in, and a couple extra stands. But I think having it at Optus, I think it just makes sense, because the crowd situation, even though we might have to touch on that, the crowds were pretty poor for the
Yeah.
first test match, which is a bit concerning. But I think the more capacity you can fill in, you just got to get it in. And Optus is a very good ground for both atmosphere and I think just the general match experience for spectators. I know a lot of people have said it's one of the best grounds that they've been to. Whether you're going to watch, football, cricket, the experience is very good, and it's very easy to get to if you're going by the public transport or not. So I think they should keep it at Optus.
I'm gonna say yeah, it should go back to the Wacker. Maybe just to test it out again, if it's possible. Like you said, if there's redevelopment there and things like that, it might be a bit hard. But the crowds were really disappointing. If you I think when they redevelop it, it's going to be like 10 or 15,000, which is probably what the crowd was max anyway throughout this test after the first day. I think it'll be better having a packed crowd, just a bit of atmosphere at the Wacker. The old memories there, a bit of a bouncy pitch it always was. Just there's a lot of history at that ground, and I'm just not sure that Optus Stadium. It looked really sad watching Test cricket in Australia when the next one will be at Boxing Day when you got a packed crowd. Whereas this one to start off the series, I think it was in Brisbane last time, and actually was a decent crowd to start off. But so pretty disappointing that the Optus Stadium wasn't filled. Whereas if you go to the Wacker, it could look pretty filled and look pretty cool. But it might be tough if it's getting redeveloped. So what do you reckon about that one, Leo?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I think I'm kind of sitting on the fence with this one. I think Optus is a very, it's a nice ground, don't get me wrong, but the crowd was really disappointing, wasn't it? So I don't know. It's one I might have to sit on the fence if that's possible for this one. I haven't really.
Well, you read out the Nars. You don't always have to.
I'll read them out. You guys answer. That's the role here.
No, fair enough. That's Plead the fifth.
I'll quickly chuck up another one there for you, lads, Leo, so you can't sit on the fence. What do you think about the umpire's call? Should it just be black and white moving forward? Yeah, like it's out or it's not out. We saw Steve Smith, basically the seam of the ball nicking the top of the bail. He was given out on field and it went to umpire's call. Do you think it should be black and white or leave it the way it is?
I think I think with the Smith one, there were 2 reds in the lead up. So I think the impact was in line, pitching in line. So I don't mind if that one clipping is given out. I think it's the one where it's like if the impact is umpire's call, and if you get like 2 or 3 umpires call and it's still given out, that's the one where I'm like, it's a bit stiff. I want to see majority red when the batsman's given out. So that's probably where I sit on that. So I think Smith, obviously it looks really unlucky, but at the end of the day, the bowler's done well to hit him on the pad in line on a bouncy wicket. I think it should be given out. What do you think, Stats Guy?
Yeah, I think as well. I'm not sure about the technology. I'm not sure how advanced it is, but if you're looking at tennis and things like that, I know it's a little bit different, but if it's a little snick on the line, it's in or out for the tennis. They just go by that. There's no margin for error. Even if there is a little bit of margin for error, I just go stiff. Just pay it. If it's hitting the stumps, in my opinion, in that DRS, you should be given out. So I know he was unlucky, but yeah, probably should be given out for that one. Just a bit stiff with the rules, how there's umpire's call and it can change the complexity of it all. But yeah, I'd be going that's out. And you're stiff if it just snicks the stumps, bad luck, I reckon. Yeah. Good one, Marcus, actually. That was pretty good. A bit of an extra one there. Got Leo saying yeah, no, so I don't mind that. Let's finish off with my favourite segment, the SuperCoach segment. We're going to have a look at everyone's must-have player for a huge Big Bash round 2. We got the Adelaide Strikers, I believe, are the only double. So they've got 2 games in round 2. All the rest of the teams have 1. But we're going to have a look at a few players that are worth picking for this week. So who have you got? I'll start with you, Leo, actually. Who have you got as your must-have player for Big Bash SuperCoach round 2?
I think Matt Short is the obvious one. So I'm going to go a little bit riskier and pick Chris Lynn. I haven't done my trades yet, but I will tonight. I think I'll bring him in. He'll bat at 3. He averaged 54 SuperCoach last season. So with a double in round 2, he's shaping as a player that will score 100 plus based off his average.
Yep.
And I think he made owners or coaches pay last year for not picking him at the start. So he started at 112,000 and he went up in price by 55,000.
Wow.
So I'm leaning to not wanting to make that mistake again, especially batting in that top order where I feel like Darcy Short might be out early. We'll see though. He might prove me wrong, but he might, in my opinion, he'll be coming in early and having more time to face deliveries. And I think this Thunder bowling lineup, who they play first, I don't think they're going to be too threatening for him. But yeah, we'll see. So he's my pick for this round. What about you, Stats Guy?
I'm going to go Zaman Khan. Really left field one here, but I didn't really know too much about him, but he was really dominant in his first game from Pakistan, known as the king of the death overs. I think he calls himself that. A few of the other T20 comps and T10 comps, he's dominated at just bowling Yorkers at the end of an innings. He is, how much is he? 112,800. I think that's a bit of a steal. He went up in price after his 2 for 31 and 55 points in the first game. He's got the Slinger Malinga type action. I think maybe that's part of the reason I just want to pick him, just because he's so fun to watch, and I love following people that bowl like that.
You love your weird bowls, weird actions, don't you?
Yeah, I think I've got Dooley. I might have to get Peter Atoglu in there. I've got Zaman Khan now. I might have to get Nathan Ellis. He does the old double arm action. Might have to we'll do a video for the socials about that. I might recreate all these. Definitely not to Zaman Khan or Nathan Ellis's pace, but I reckon we should do that in the net. That'd be pretty funny. Yeah, I just think he's a bit of a steal. I think he's a T20 specialist. He just goes around the world, bowls Yorkers at the death. Even though he's facing the strikers this week, I reckon he could get a few wickets. A lot of his wickets are going to be the tail. When he just bowls at the end, he's going to bowl in those last couple of overs, especially that last over. And as we've seen in almost every Big Bash season, if you're a death bowler, you're going to get a few more wickets just because you bowl into the tail or bowl into guys that just want to try and hit you out of the park. Got the perfect Yorker, so 112,000 I think is a bit of a steal, and then he could be also a bit of a cash cow and go up in price as well. A bit of Zaman Khan. Watch this space for him. All right, Marcus, who are you going?
Well, yeah, Leo touched on him, and I'm going to focus on the double round here in particular, Adelaide being the only team, and I think Matt Short, even though he's expensive, 244,000. It's pretty self-explanatory. He was brilliant last season. Goes at a high strike rate, hits boundaries. So he'll get extra points for strike rate. So I think over 2 games, he's almost a must-have to have in your team. But I also want to touch on perhaps maybe Jamie Overton as well for the strikers, all-rounder, so he can get points with both bat and ball. If he's going to bat, he's going to come in late in the innings most likely, so he's going to have to press on a bit, get that higher strike rate. And at a price of 125,000, he could be worth it for round 2 with Adelaide, the only team having the double round.
Nice. Yeah, I really like both of those. I got Short as my captain just because he's going to bowl a few overs as well. He's the all-rounder that dominated last year, especially with the bat. So if he can find anywhere near that form that he had last year, I think he's going to be captain for a lot of games this Big Bash season. All right, lads, I think that's it for the Cricket Today show. We've wrapped up a huge first test. We're back into summer cricket. There's cricket going on everywhere at the moment. We're absolutely loving it. We'll be back with this tomorrow, so please get right around the show. Subscribe on your podcast apps, Spotify, Apple, etc. Like and review it, please. I've said please a lot of times again. Leo will be happy with that. Chuck a follow to Cricket Today and Cricket Today AU all over the socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X. Send in any questions. Thanks to Brad and Alex for sending in some nahs. Any questions or nahs we love talking about on the show and love talking about it with you guys. So anything you want us to chat to us about, get around the socials on Cricket Today AU. And that's it. Thank you, Leo.
Cheers, Stats Guy.
Thank you, Marcus.
Cheers, Stats Guy.
Thanks, Gerald, for producing. Thanks to me. I've got me polo on. I'm very happy with that. And that's another episode of Cricket Today done. We're out.